have that much sewage. You had to buy chemicals. You had to spend a lot of money to keep that plant in operation so it would meet all the requirements of your supply. Snowshoe is a different situation. In wintertime, they get plenty of sewage to operate those plants. In summertime, they don't have that many people on the mountain. They can't keep those plants going. We can take our sewage from here, much shorter haul than taking it to Raynell, much shorter haul than taking it to Elkins, where they're not accepting sewer discharge.
Are you bringing it, Mike, are you bringing it from Snowshoe here and then taking it to Raynell?
Yeah.
Why don't you take it straight on to Raynell?
Mackie, sometimes road conditions, some days Raynell's not accepting sewer. You just don't load up a load of sewer, go to Raynell and say, I'm here to dump. You have to call and set that up in advance because they may have an equipment breakdown.
We have had to do that.
We have had times that they leave here with the load of sewer and go to Raynell. Guess what happened? They had to haul back because Raynell would not accept it that day because of breakdowns. You've got to have somewhere to plan because you never think about these sewer systems until they break down. Septic system. You never think about your septic tank.
Well, there's 3,900.
Until you're standing in the shower and the water's not going out, and you say, "Oh, my septic tank's full. I got to get somebody to pump it." Well, do you want us to tell you that we don't have any place to put it?
3,900 septics in this county. I talked to Henderson. Now, 3,900. If you pumped 1,000 gallon out of each one each year. Every year, you go get 39,000 gallons.
And we're putting in a 40,000 gallon tank.
Well, you already got 100,000 gallon over there ready to weld. You've got 100,000 gallon.
Did you not hear what I just said? We're not putting that tank up.
I heard, that's what I'm questioning about.
We're not putting that tank up. Did you not hear what I said?
Wait a minute, but that's not in writing. That's what I'm trying to say. Once you have the land, I've got a copy of the lease. Once you have the land, there's no restrictions. And you can do anything you want with it. So what you do is you get the land. And then you put 5 of those 100,000 gallon tanks up. We have no control over it.
We can stand here and all day, and that's not what we're doing. I'm trying to tell you what we are planning on doing.
Right.
That's not even planning for it.
But here's the question.
Plans change. Last year, when there was observatory, we was planning on a 100,000 gallon tank.
How come?
We found out it wouldn't work.
How come the public wasn't notified about the county commission meeting? Now, you can't say you didn't know about it because right here's the paperwork.
Well, undoubtedly, Tony, you knew about it too because you was there.
I was called the day before.
The day before.
I didn't have to bring any letters from people that
day before.
And I didn't have what you had.
It was on the website on Friday.
You know what though? That went in front of a commission meeting. It was not.
That was
it did not get a second.
Well advertised. I think
it did not. The first meeting, it did not get a second motion to put on the ballot.
Going to be going on, didn't you, Mr. Alderman?
Yeah. What happened was, I got this the next day after that. Jamie Walker knew about those 6 pits that were going to be put in. He didn't even look at this deed.
We're only called. We're doing 1 pit, 140,000.
Well, that's not what this says.
Well,
this has 6 pits.
do you know how things spread in this community?
No, I'm looking. I got this from the county commission.
That shows setbacks where they could be. And our engineer's going to have to decide. Plus, there'll have to be studies made of which place it could be used.
Well, let me ask you a question. Now, Tony, I know you said this. We can go on all day and discuss it, but when they bring up the point, or I bring up the point, 44,000. How many people in here, raise your hands, had your sewer pump in the last 2 years, last 3 years, last year? 1, 2. In 10 years, I haven't had.
Mine went to Raynell.
Working property.
20 years.
If it's working property, you got a proper source. And let me tell you, in this county, if we got 44,000, we got another 2,000 that's not even registered, folks. Mine was put in by Henry in 1985. The flood's the reason we done it. A lot were put in then. But I've been dealing with a little bit of property. You'd be surprised the property you go to, they have to have an approved source if it's not even recorded in the county. If it's not recorded down there, it ain't counted. I can name them all over the place. But here's my point. How many people in this room? Here we got
Ed Riley should be able to tell you that.
Now listen, if we don't pump that many sewers,
That's right.
You know, you don't pump it, you can't tell me it's not 40, that's 44,000 gallons,
They're
50,000 a year.
pumping in Virginia.
Well, that's true, but now
And we
look
got
here.
3 contracts at Snowshoe.
Howland County's got 2,000 people, we got 8. That's what the last census showed. I don't
We do
forget what
not
Van
have
County
a
is.
contract with Thompson.
I just don't think it's gonna be that bad.
But the thing is, if they have been fighting for over 10 years for Snowshoe, this whole sewage thing at Snowshoe, and people have been outraged, why do you think that, it says right here in this letter, that according from the Greenbrier Valley thing, it says, as the commission is aware, the Mets are good members of the community, both as business operators and neighbors. Good neighbors kind of take into consideration people in their community. Do you not believe that? It's like, why do you want to live in a community that smell, that you won't even be able to open your windows during the daytime?
You didn't, the observatory.
That's what I'm saying.
Y'all have got to argue with Mike Holstein over the smell observatory, the observatory. The one over the storage lagoons over the Cape.
It smells down there more residential, or you have that.
You'll have more smell from the grease traps here at this senior center than you will from there.
But the point is that people that say that they're good neighbors, do you not think that that means you take into consideration the will of the
Do
people in
you
your
not think
community?
that's why we've done, are not putting up the 100,000 gallon tank? We're listening to you. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Help me to understand, because I need to be educated now, I'm not arguing or anything. I don't have a dog to fight actually. There are tanks for temporary storage of
Yes,
sewage. None of them's open.
No, ma'am. Not the present time.
Not the present time.
Okay, hang on. Y'all had all your say. Are you gonna have any treatment facilities?
No, ma'am, it's not a treatment facility. It is a storage holding
So,
transfer tank.
Okay, when it comes in, it's gonna leave.
Yes, ma'am.
So whether it's 50,000 or 100,000, when it comes in, it's going to leave by way of a truck or whatever. Okay, so if it's a temporary storage, I'd rather you had 2 tanks, to tell you the truth, so if one doesn't work, the other one can be used, but that's just me. But you keep saying about the observatory, but what you're going to do is not the same as the observatory.
same thing
It
as
won't
the
smell the same if it's covered.
Yes, ma'am.
It won't put off, am I right? It won't put off the sun. Do you have any plans in the future for a treatment facility where there'll be a big lagoon?
No, ma'am. Absolutely not.
So anything that you do is going to all be temporary storage,
Yes, ma'am.
which means temporary, get it out within the year?
Yes,
And you're not going to
ma'am.
temporarily store it for 3 years,
No,
right?
ma'am. We'd like to get rid of it as quick as we could so that in case somebody needs us real quick, we'd have the space available.
Okay, well, that helps me a lot. I think it's doing you harm, and you keep giving those examples of those open smelly pits, if you're not going to have an open smelly pit.
That's not our intention. The EPA regulates air quality around.
It'll be temporary, but it will be continuous. It will never be empty. I mean, you'll be hauling sewage.
I heard what y'all
It's a
said.
temporary facility, but there'll be sewage in it all the time.
Sometimes, you know, it's like saying, will the sun come up tomorrow?
Well, I think Agnes was, I'm trying to straighten out what Agnes was getting at.
Yeah.
One of the things that will help us is if you all can get behind the project of Snowshoe, that's less, when we can get that project and get built, that's less storage we have to have because it's closer and quicker to get rid of it. And if that doesn't, then that means we may need more storage depending on how many of our septics we need pumped.
Yes, ma'am.
While we're on the line of hauling away from here and taking it somewhere else,
Yes, ma'am.
don't those hauling trucks have to be washed out periodically?
Yes, ma'am.
Where do you wash them out and where does that
Well, you
residue
put that
run?
back in your sewage holding tank whenever you wash those out. That's just good maintenance.
So you take it somewhere and dump it somewhere else in a treatment place?
Whenever you're putting it in.
And then you bring the truck back and wash them out here?
Most generally, we wash it out while we're at the sewage treatment facility we're dumping it at. So we don't have to haul back up the road, and we don't have, you know, If we bring it back up here and wash it out, we've got more sewage that we have to pay to
Okay,
dispose of.
that's what I would like, I just wanted to know the ins and outs of this.
At the county commission meeting on Tuesday, when you were asked if you were gonna have your things covered, I thought you all said you had no comment, you didn't at that time
We
say.
didn't have any comment about the question Mr. Alderman asked about the scrap yard. And this is still, we're planning on putting a cover.
Don't you find that to be deceitful?
Let me finish answering Renee's question. We're planning on putting a cover on. It's going to have to be built on whatever the DEP says it can be built on. It has to be DEP approved. We can't just, we just can't go over and put a tank in the ground. Everything has to be permitted through the DEP. And you know the DEP is not going to allow us to do something.
I think that the thing is that I think that people in the community are just concerned about the air quality we're going to have, what it's going to do to our ground environment, and it's just, you have people that come through Greenbank every day on their way to Snowshoe or to just enjoy the beauty of this area, and one of the nicest things about living here is clean air.
Yes, ma'am.
And that is a real concern.
And I worked in parks and ended up 34 years. I've actually got, this coming year will be 50 years that I've been working in tourism. I started when I was 10 years old, selling pictures on the gas train. Tourism has been my life. And do you think I'm going to do something to be involved with a company that would be doing anything to hurt tourism?
Well, because you
I
have
think
a
you've got
job.
a different thing coming. I think I'd be the first one up in arms with it. If it was doing anything to hurt tourism, because that's just how dedicated I am to tourism. Yes, ma'am.
If I could just ask two questions. Are these your plans?
They were a drawing from the
Kind of
engineers.
They're your engineers?
Our engineers drew that up to show what we could do on the property.
This is a what if.
That's a what if.
What about the cover letter?
And then the other thing.
Why don't you read the cover letter?
I did read it.
No,
And the
I mean read it to the room.
And then the other thing is, I think everybody's all read it from what I gathered, but anyway, where's there a facility like you're on, where's a tank like you're proposing? That if we can just go over and smell it, you know what I'm saying?
Which place is it again? It's
It's
Snowshoe.
in the Rimfire parking lot.
Rimfire parking lot, Snowshoe.
It's
Very
covered.
similar.
It's not covered.
No, I want to know where there's,
I'm not sure where to take it.
I mean, someone must have showed you how to make them, put a roof on them, right? So,
I don't know of one in West Virginia. I don't know.
so you're exceeding the
We're going
expectation of
beyond-
whoever makes the rules?
Yes, ma'am. We're trying to go above and beyond. Because we get more than 50 inches of rain here, we don't want to have to pay to dispose of that rainwater. I mean, that's not good business.
This one